All right, so let's open our browser and go to bricklayer.org, bricklayer.org. And then from there, we're going to go to Apps, bricklayer-lite. We'll click on that, and then click on Level 2. So open Level 2. We're going to build a base plate. Let's build one a little bit bigger this time, say 16 by 16. We'll go to function calls, shapes, ring, and then a show function. And we're going to go get some semicolons. So again, notice how this puzzle piece here is surrounded by an orange or yellow line, so it's highlighted. So if I do Control C, Control V, so Control C is copy, Control V is paste, Control V again. I only have to do Control C once, and I can do Control V a bunch of times. So here's my program. Now for the ring function, the ring XZ function, it's called ring XZ because it's placed in the XZ plane. That's where it's created. So we're going to give it a radius of 7, a thickness of 1. Pick a color here. This time we'll pick black. And now we want to calculate the center. Let's place the ring in the center of the grid so that the center is where the center of the grid is the center of the ring. So remember, since our grid has a size 16, it has an even numbered size, we can't divide it by 2 and get an exact cell as a center. We actually would need an odd number for that. But we can do our upper minus lower plus 1 formula, and if we do that, we get 8 as our center, as our approximation to the center. So if we run this, a couple things I'd like to point out is that notice how the edge of the ring is touching the upper edge of the grid and the right side of the grid, but is not touching the left side of the grid or the bottom side of the grid. So if we wanted to change that center, we could move it down 1. And then we have it lined up this way. So it's a choice as to where you want to put the center, since it's an approximation after all. Let's play a little bit with the thickness. So I'm going to do a thickness of 2. I'll run this. Thickness of 3 on this. And if I do a thickness of 7, which is the, thickness of 7, that's the size of the radius, then I get everything but the center point, the center cell. And so if I want to fill that in, Bricklayer will let you actually have a thickness that's bigger than the radius. And I'll fill it in. Of course, you could put bigger numbers in here, but it really doesn't do anything, right? So if I put in 10 here and run it, doesn't do anything. All right, so we go back to my thickness of 2. And if we make our grid bigger, let's run this. So let's put a ring beside this again as well, right? So this ring, so we want a side-by-side ring, touching but not overlapping. So the first thing I'm going to do is select my ring puzzle piece. I'm going to copy it and paste it. Whoops. Is it here? I'll select a different color. And now I got to move, I'm going to place them side by side, so I got to change the X value, but I don't want to change the Z value. So we want the diameter of this circle is going to be 15, or this ring is going to be 15. So that's the distance that we want. We could try just twice the radius and see what happens. Whoops, I'm adding twice the radius. So this one here, the center is at the edge of the first ring. The center of the second ring is on the edge of the first ring. So let me add 14 to 7. So now you get 21. And notice that there's an overlap right here. So I need to scoot it over one more, which is 7 plus 15. Okay. So once we've figured that out, of course, we can copy and paste again. So you pick a different color, yellow maybe. This ring will be in the upper right corner, also touching but not overlapping. And then one more here, copy and paste. And this time the Z value changes, and the X value is the same as the X value of the first ring. So let's pick another color. Aqua maybe. All right. So that's how you can do ring functions. Now, it seems like it might be fun to put a ring with the center here. But of course, if you so kind of go across like this. But if we do this, this isn't going to line up exactly because the center here, you can see, doesn't have an exact center. So we'd have to make the thickness one bigger if we wanted to do that. Of course, if it goes one bigger, let's see, can we pull this off? Make the thickness bigger. So we're going to have to move things around a little bit, maybe. We would have to actually have them overlapping to have this work out. Let's try really quickly. So I'm going to replace the 22s by 21s everywhere. So now they're overlapping, which doesn't look so nice. I suppose if they were the same color, maybe we change the color. Make them all the same color, then the overlapping doesn't stand out. There? Okay, now that's looking better. So here, we need to find that coordinate. We already know this coordinate. This is the center plus 7, I believe. Let's test this out. So I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to change the color. It makes it dramatically different. Let's see. And then we want 14 here, right? This is my sort of first attempt. And of course, we need the same thing for Z. That looks about right. We can test it a little bit more by making the radius, which kind of show you how I can use the computer to help me do math. So I want to make sure that this center here is the actual center of the ring, and I don't want to count it out. So if I do this, all right, it's looking good. Okay, so let's see this back to 3 again. There. And maybe, since I'm playing around, maybe I make this radius a little bit bigger too. There. Okay, I think that looks good. All right, I think we're done with our playing around. I will talk to you a little bit next about some cool artifacts that you can create.